Taylor Swift has revealed herself to be resentful of Black women, or at least deeply insecure when it comes to comparing herself to Black women. In the song Opalite, Taylor is referencing Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole. The lyrics of Opalite include, "You were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night, but now the sky is opalite." Taylor is not only using the lyrics in the song to talk about how she is so much better for Travis than his ex-girlfriend is, which is inconsiderate on its face. What did that lady ever do to you? But she is choosing to do that using the imagery of onyx, which is typically black, and opalite, which is typically white. Or in Eldest Daughter, Taylor says, "I'm not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down." The language of bad bitch and savage are primarily associated with Black women, at least in this context, especially Black women in hip-hop. Both make me think of Megan Thee Stallion immediately. And there were rumors that Travis was trying to holler at Megan back in 2023, shortly before Travis and Taylor started dating. So I read this lyric as, "Sorry, I'm not a hot, cool Black woman like he usually dates." Or in Wishlist, she says they want a fat ass and a baby face. Big booties are not unique to Black women, but if we're all being honest here about the associations of Black women's bodies over the last 400 years, big booties are and have been associated with Black women. Now, could I understand why Taylor might be insecure about this? Yeah. Knowing that thousands, if not millions of people are looking at your man's exes and then looking at you like, huh? Would make me insecure too. But to be even relatively conscious of the trope of white men dating Black women until it's time to settle down and have white babies, or the trope of men dating Black women until they get richer or more famous, or to know the way that Kayla Nicole has been dragged to hell and back because her high-profile ex, a white man, started a very public relationship with one of the biggest pop stars in the world, a white woman, and how many people hurled racist jokes at her and Black women generally for it, to know all that and still dunk on her one more time to your millions of loyal fans, for this to come up on at least 3 different songs in one album, for her to play into harmful tropes that she has to be aware of, and for so many of Taylor's fans to not notice or just not care, this album is simply not for me. There is enough thinly veiled racial resentment in the world toward Black women. I don't need it in my pop bops.
Here's the thing, right? As much as I think Tyler is wrong for okay, wait. As much as I think that Tyler is wrong for the things that she does, especially in this album, I feel like context is always important. You know, as a Black woman, stay away from white people. Like, literally, just stay away from white people. Like, I find it very difficult to defend Black women who openly date white men. Like, what do you expect, really, in the end, to happen to you, honestly? I can't even defend you because I'm like, I don't want to get involved. If it was a Black man with a Black woman and a white woman is doing this, I'll get involved. But when that man is not Black, so I really do not care. Because why a white man? I'm also looking at you like, you put yourself in this situation, and now we are here. I'm just gonna just fold my arms and just look and be like, oh, okay, I see.
I'm about to be the friend that's too woke. Opalite made me feel nasty inside. I've seen people talk about Taylor punching down on this album in reference to like the whole Charlie XCX song, but I haven't seen anybody talk about it in terms of Opalite. And I just couldn't think of anything else when listening to the song, because for me personally, I became familiar with Travis Kelce as the white football player who only dates Black women. And then he started dating Taylor Swift, and now they're engaged, so like that's not the case. But there's a verse on the song Opalite where she's referring to one of his last relationships, and I'm like, oh, maybe not doing that. Maybe not referring to a Black woman that he used to date in absentia. You, as the most famous pop star in the world who is also a thin, wealthy white woman. This is the verse. You couldn't understand it, why you felt alone. You were in it for real, she was in her phone, and you were just a pose. And don't we try to love, give it all we got? You finally left the table, and what a simple thought. You're starving till you're not. Well, it would be one thing if he had been only in like private relationships and people didn't know who any of his past exes were. But he literally was like on a dating show, and also he was kind of everywhere with his last ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole, who I think is mainly known for being Travis Kelce's girlfriend before he started dating Taylor Swift. So I was listening to that song and I was like, what's the necessity to talk about his exes and how he was like not understanding why his relationships weren't working when he was giving it all he had, when you could just talk about yourself? I don't know, like, we don't exist in vacuums. Like, there's everything that we do, all the interpersonal relationships that we have are impacted by the politics of the world that we live in. And I think the main problem that I have with the verse is that it sets up his ex as the problem when there could have been any other number of issues in their relationship. But the idea is like, oh, you're starving till you're not. I was the food that you needed to feed yourself and finally feel full. And she was too busy in that phone. Like, she wasn't enough for you. I don't know. It's kind of like weird and gloaty. And this is where the really too woke part comes in, because I started to think about the color imagery in the chorus and I was like, girl. So after she says that thing about how Travis's ex wasn't enough for him, you know, you're starving till you're not, whatever. The chorus is, and that's when I told you, it's all right. You were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night, but now the sky is opalite. Oh my lord, never made anyone like you before. You had to make your own sunshine, but now the sky is opalite. Which is this kind of weird mixed metaphor about like the darkness of the night, which was both of their like respective past relationships, and now that they've made each other the way that like people make opalite, because opalite is a man-made stone, they're in the sunrise / sun. It's a weird metaphor, but I'll just say this. The phrase "the sun never sets on the English Empire" wasn't just impactful because it brought to mind the literal fact that like the English Empire spanned the entire globe, right? The sun would literally never set on it. It was also because of the insinuation that through bringing their whiteness to these places that they were colonizing, the English Empire was bringing light to the darkness. The onyx night, if you will. I just think that is a crazy metaphor to have in a song where you are obliquely referencing the black ex-partner of your current fiance. I feel especially off-put by like a need that some people have to like almost be like, oh, I'm better for you than your ex, or I'm better than your ex, or just like insinuate like the ghost of the ex is always in the room with us. It makes me wonder if there is like a weird sense of gratification and like joy that comes in the fact that like, oh, he spent his whole career dating all these black women and he thought he was going to end up with one of them, but no, it's me, and I can't wait to give him some white babies. And this is not something that is like exclusive to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, right? This is an entire archetype of white person / white couple. And I say this as someone who has had experience dating people outside of my race and being left for a white woman. Because of that experience, I was listening to this song and the only thing that I could think about after that verse was Kayla. You were with this man for 4.5, 5 years, right? And then after you break up, not only do you have to keep seeing him because he's like one of the most famous football players in the country, but then he starts dating the most famous pop star in the world. And you have to watch everyone celebrate the fact that he has started dating the most famous pop star in the world. And there's this underlying implication that part of the reason that that relationship is good and worth celebrating is because she has saved him from black women that he was previously interested in. And this is an archetype of man, right? The white man who dates black women until he's ready to settle down and procreate, and then all of a sudden he pulls a white girlfriend out of his ass. There's a season 1 episode of Law & Order SVU about this. Like, this is a tale as old as time. But there was just something about that verse being included on the song that felt almost like being a sore winner or kind of like punching down to me. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. Which is sad because everyone that I know, like a lot of people that I know, they're like, yeah, the album sucks, but this is my favorite song on it. And I'm like, well, I'm black and traumatized, so that's not the case. I just find it kind of like sad and also embarrassing. Like, why do you have to compare yourself to this woman who is not with this man anymore and who clearly there was something wrong in their relationship, even if it wasn't just that she was in her phone, but like they're not together anymore for a reason. Why are you writing about her? You could have just not done that.
She wrote a whole song about Travis Kelce fucking her brains out, and I guess he actually did, because that was the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. I'm not a Swiftie. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. But like, I liked, you know, those first couple albums, the first 2 or 3 albums when she was faking a country accent. You know, those ones were good when I was 10. They were wonderful, amazing, beautiful. I still listen to them. I thought people were joking about how bad the album was. I thought that these were AI songs. all the little clips I was seeing, I was like, oh, this has to be AI. This can't be real. She didn't sing that. Did I girl boss too close to the sun? Ew! If you told me Gabby Hanna wrote this entire album, I would believe you. Because that's the vibe it's giving off. I don't know. Maybe she saw how great Sabrina Carpenter is doing with all the dick jokes and slang and whatever. And she was like, oh, I can do that too. Clearly you can't. Please don't try again.
I was gonna let I'm not a bad bitch, this isn't savage. I was gonna let that go. I was gonna let that one roll off my back. No, this isn't about the song that changed my life, the song where Beyonce delivered arguably the best remix of all time, Grammy award-winning Savage. No, Taylor wouldn't do that. Until yesterday, my co-host Sequoia told me that Travis Kelce asked out Meg Thee Stallion and she denied him. What's happening? Sorry, I had to, but and that Travis Kelce has only dated black women before Taylor, which I didn't know. So the subtext is hinting at, I'm not a black baddie, but I'm still your girl. And I think that sentiment could be fine if it's coming from a place of black women are dominating right now, especially in the music industry, and if she also shows her support for other black artists and black women in her orbit. But if you're saying that line and it is fueling bullying of Travis's ex, Kayla, who is black, that's not kosher in my book. Change the lyric. Like, don't include that lyric. It's not a good fucking lyric either. So what is the intention there? Like, we as fans, as the audience, are allowed to hold you accountable and ask that you show us what your intentions are through your actions, through what you're outspoken about.